Hello everyone. Why silence can really gain more respect from others. Let's dig deep into this topic today. There is an old saying, silence is golden. At the first glance, it may sound poetic, but when life teaches us its lessons through heartbreaks, misunderstandings, and victories, it becomes clear that silence is not just golden, it is powerful, transformative, and deeply respected. In the world overflowing with noise, opinions on social media, loud arguments, and constant chatter of daily life, the quiet person stands out, not because they are weak or unsure of what to say, but because they have chosen a different path, one of inner strength, restraint, and wisdom. There is something undeniably respectable about someone who knows when not to speak. This video explores why silence can earn more respect than loud words, examining its psychological, emotional, and spiritual power, and how silence helps us connect more authentically with others and with ourselves. The maturity behind silence. Silence is often a sign of emotional maturity. When a person chooses silence over unnecessary arguments, they are showing that they no longer feel the need to win every debate or prove themselves right. This restraint is deeply respected because it shows a high level of self-control. Children act with impulse, adults, when mature, choose their battles. In this way, silence becomes an expression of strength, not a sign of weakness. The one who can stay quiet in the heat of conflict often holds the power in the room, not because they dominate, but because they have mastered themselves. Respect is often earned not by volume of one's voice, but by the depth of one's presence. Silent people radiate a kind of mystery and composure that draws others in. They are not easily shaken, and this quiet confidence speaks louder than any shout ever could. Second, silence is a form of listening and understanding. Most people listen to reply, not to understand. But the person who listens in silence is practicing something sacred. They are giving others the gift of presence, showing that their words are valued and their emotions heard. Think about the last time someone truly listened to you without interrupting. It felt different, didn't it? It felt safe. That safety breeds trust, and trust leads to respect. Silent communicates humility. It says, I don't know everything, I'm here to learn. In a culture where everyone wants to talk, the listener, the quiet observer, is often the wisest one in the room. Their respect grows not because of what they say, but because of what they understand. Silent in conflict. Choose peace over ego. In any argument, the louder person is rarely the most respected. In fact, shouting often signals insecurity. It says, I need to raise my voice because my words alone aren't strong enough. But silence in a conflict does something different. It disarms, it confuses the aggressor. When you do not respond to provocation, you are not allowing another person to control your emotions. You are not validating their anger for more anger. This kind of silence is not about running away or giving up. It is an act of spiritual courage. It's the calm of a deep ocean in the middle of the storm. It says, I won't sink to that level. My peace is not for sale. Such silence often speaks the loudest message. I respect myself enough not to fight every battle, and that self-respect commands respect from others. Fourth, the power of silence in leadership. Great leaders understand the power of pause. They don't rush into decisions. They don't speak every thought that comes to mind. Their silence shows discernment, and that discernment earns loyalty. When a leader pauses before responding, their words carry more weight. People listen more carefully because they know the leader does not speak carelessly. The same is true for anyone in a position of influence. Silence is not hesitation, it is the consideration. This is why the wisest people in meetings are often those who speak the least. They are watching, learning, and evaluating, and when they finally speak, the room falls silent. That respect is not accidental, it has been earned through the quiet discipline of thoughtfulness. Silence makes space for reflection and wisdom. Many of the great spiritual traditions emphasize silence as a path to wisdom. Jesus often went to the mountain alone to pray in silence. The Buddha sat beneath the Bodhi tree in silence for days. Mystics, monks, and philosophers across centuries have sought solitude not to escape the world, but to understand it more deeply. Why? Because silence is the space where wisdom is born. When we are quiet, we can hear not just the outside world, but the whispers of the soul. We can hear our true thoughts uncluttered by other people's voices. In silence, we meet ourselves, and when we meet ourselves honestly, we become more grounded, humble, and wise. That kind of internal clarity shows up in how we live and speak. People feel it when they are around us, and they respect it deeply. 6. The respect of mystery. Not everything needs to be said. There is a quiet elegance in not revealing everything about ourselves. In a world obsessed with oversharing, where people post every meal, every emotion, every opinion, those who remain mysterious are like rare treasures. They are not hiding, they are choosing to protect the sacred parts of themselves. Their silence says, I don't need validation. I'm at peace with not being understood by everyone. This quiet mystery is deeply attractive. It draws people in, not with noise, but with depth. The person who does not speak often, but speaks wisely, is remembered. Their words echo long after a loud ones have faded. 7. Silence shows respect for others. Sometimes silence is the greatest act of kindness. When someone is grieving, we don't need to speak. Just sitting beside them in silence speaks volumes. It says, I'm here. I see you. I feel your pain. When someone makes a mistake, silence can be more merciful than criticism. When someone confides in us, our silent attention can be more healing than any advice. This kind of silence is not empty, it is full of empathy. And when people feel that kind of understanding from us, they grow to respect and trust us more deeply. 8. the spiritual dimension of silence. In many ways, silence is the language of God. Psalm 46 verse 10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." It does not say talk more or defend yourself. It says be still. In stillness, the soul hears divine guidance. In silence, the heart is open. When a person becomes comfortable with silence, they become more attuned to something greater than themselves. They begin to hear wisdom from beyond the ego. This kind of soul is deeply respected, not because it's of any title or fame, but because they radiate peace, and peace is what the world craves. The danger of over-talking when words lose meaning. The more we talk, the more likely we are to say things we don't mean or shouldn't say. Words are powerful, but when used carelessly, they lose their value. Silence helps us choose our words more carefully. It teaches us to speak with intention, not impulse. And when we speak intentionally, people listen more closely. Talking too much can also become a shield of insecurity. Some people talk because they are afraid of silence. But when we become secure in ourselves, we no longer need to fill every space with noise. That inner quiet becomes an outer calm, and people notice. The balance, when to speak and when to stay silent. Of course, silence is not always the answer. Sometimes truth must be spoken. Sometimes justice demands a voice. But even then, silence teaches us to choose the right moment. The person who knows when to speak is often more powerful than the person who always speaks, because their words come from stillness, from clarity, from peace, not from ego. Silence is not about being passive, it is about being purposeful. Conclusion: the silent strength that commands respect. In the end, silence is not about saying nothing. It is about speaking from the deeper place. It teaches us to be present, to listen, to reflect, and helps us protect our peace, our energy, and our dignity. It gives us a kind of quiet confidence that does not need applause. That's quiet strength earns respect, real respect, the kind that lasts, the kind that doesn't fade when trends change or opinions shift. So, when in doubt, stay silent. Let others speak in haste. Let them fill the air with words. You stay rooted. Breathe deeply. Listen, think, reflect, wait. And when the time is right, speak with grace. Because silence is not the absence of power, it is a space in which power grows. And those who have mastered silence have mastered one of life's greatest strengths, the strength to live, to love, and to live with unshakable respect.